Conflict in an adult life is not caused by cruelty. Not always. It's caused by emotional illiteracy. We don't know what we're feeling, so we mislabel it. Then we miscommunicate it. And then we defend it. Emotional literacy is not about being dramatic or overly expressive, it's about precision. It's the ability to identify what is actually happening inside you and to articulate it without distortion. And this is where reading and writing become more than hobbies, they become training. When you read literature carefully, you're observing emotional complexity in slow motion. A well written novel doesn't just tell you to a character is angry, it reveals the layers beneath it: humiliation, fear of abandonment, wounded pride. Think about a novel like A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mistry. The emotional world that is not simple. Grief coexists with tenderness, hope survives alongside despair. You don't walk away with one emotional label, you walk away aware of nuance. Or take the essays of Joan Didion. When she writes about loss, she doesn't generalize it, she dissects it. She names denial, disorientation, bargaining not in textbook language but through lived detail. Reading like this sharpens perception. You begin to recognize subtleties in your own emotional life because you've seen them modeled on the page. But recognition alone is not enough. Writing is where literacy becomes embodied. When you journal daily, you practice translating sensation into language. Instead of saying, I'm in a bad mood, you pause. You ask, is it disappointment or is it envy? Is it fatigue masked as irritation? That pause matters. Mark Brackett calls this emotional granularity, the ability to distinguish between closely related feelings. Research suggests that people with higher emotional granularity regulates themselves more effectively. Because if you know you're feeling embarrassment rather than anger, your response changes. If you identify loneliness instead of resentment, your behavior shifts. Emotional literacy influences personality over time. If you journal vaguely, you tend to live vaguely. Reactions become blunt, conversations become reactive. But if you write with specificity, if you practice naming what is real, your interactions soften. You stop accusing people of always or never. You stop escalating misunderstandings. You start saying, I felt overlooked instead of you don't care. The difference is maturity. And maturity is built privately before it's displayed publicly. There's also something else that happens through long term engagement with books and writing. Empathy deepens. When you inhabit different characters across cultures, eras, temperaments, you stretch your emotional range. You understand motivations you might not personally share. That understanding translates into patience. You become slower to label someone as irrational because you've spent hours inside fictional minds that felt justified in their own confusion. Literature complicates judgment. Journaling clarifies response. Together, they refine how you move through relationships. This is not about becoming overly analytical in conversation. It's about becoming less careless. There's a difference. Emotionally literate people don't necessarily speak more, they speak more accurately. They don't react less intensely because they are detached. They react more thoughtfully because they are aware. When you build the habit of writing every day, you're rehearsing that awareness. You're strengthening the muscle of articulation, and articulation builds stability. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, you feel a surge of irritation during a meeting. You don't examine it. Later, it spills out as sarcasm. In the second you've practiced writing, journaling every day, you recognize the irritation as insecurity, perhaps someone else's idea was praised. You process it privately. The next day, you continue calmly instead of defensively. That is emotional literacy in action. Not flashy, not visible to everyone, but transformative in tone. Over months and years, the way you journal shapes the way you inhabit rooms. If your pages are honest, your presence becomes grounded. If your writing allows contradiction, you become less threatened by complexity in others. If you regularly confront uncomfortable emotions on paper, you become less afraid of them in conversation. Emotional literacy is not taught aggressively, it's cultivated. One sentence at a time, one clarified feeling at a time, one page a day, one word a day, one feeling a day. If you've ever felt misunderstood, or if you have misunderstood someone else, consider that the gap may not be character but vocabulary. Reading expands that vocabulary, writing personalizes it. And slowly you become someone who can name what is happening before it turns into conflict. In this way of approaching books and journaling feels deeper than habit building. If it feels like character building, stay. Comment with one emotion you've recently learned to name more precisely. And if you're committed to building inner clarity that reflects outward in how you treat people, subscribe, share with your friends. Because emotional literacy is significant. It isn't loud, but it changes the atmosphere around you. And over time, that atmosphere becomes who you are.